All right, everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday. We have made it to the weekend and we have made it to Seattle Seahawk training camp. We're getting underway over at the VMAC. Things are happening. By the time you watch this video, there's a very good chance that the team will already be out there on the field. And we're going to start learning stuff about how this team is shaping up for the 2026 season very soon here. So that is imminent. But there's another thing that looks like it's imminent right now for these Seahawks, and it's so imminent. We've made a lot of videos about this topic lately, but I want to make another one here because field goals, John Gilbert specifically made a really nice catch, and he posted an article about it yesterday morning over on Field Goals, and I want to go over this a little bit because he found something really interesting that leads me, and I would say many others, it seems like, to believe that the contract extension is imminent. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. So we've got this article on field goals here from John Gilbert. Monday is a notable date for a Devon Witherspoon contract extension. Now, a couple videos ago, some of you guys might remember, I said something to the effect of, there's no rush on a Devon Witherspoon extension because there's no difference between doing it now, doing it next week, doing it in a month. Really, any time between now and the first regular season game, it's all kind of the same. So that was one reason why I wondered if this was going to linger on into August or maybe even early September. As it turns out, there is actually a little bit of a difference between doing it now and doing it later. Not a big one, but right now, when you're talking about a market-setting deal, and make no mistake, there's every reason to believe this is going to be a market-setting deal for Devon Witherspoon. We had this tweet from Underdog. Devon Witherspoon's extension is expected to be worth around $32 million per year. That is something that I've heard from Rappaport, as is mentioned in this tweet, but also from some other people as well. So that would be a market setter. So while we're here talking about such big sums of money, we may as well look for any other details we can. So this article points something out that I was not aware of, that I didn't know about, but is pretty interesting. So first, let's talk about Witherspoon's current 2026 cap hit, right? This is his cap hit right now on that rookie deal that is still currently active. You've got the base, you've got the bonus, or signing bonus, and then you've got the roster bonus. And this is where things get a little bit interesting. I'm not going to go crazy here, but the roster bonus is almost $4 million. This roster bonus comes due the third day following reporting to training camp. So Monday is the day when the roster bonus of nearly $4 million comes due and payable. And what that means is that something shifts as it pertains to the potential contract extension on Monday. Now, it's not a huge difference. I don't think Witherspoon thinks too much about it either way, and the team probably doesn't think a lot of it either way, but I do think that if the team could have it their way, they would rather get this done before the deadline. And I'll talk about why here. But the short version is that if they get the extension done this weekend, the cap hit for 2026 is less. All right, guys, let's take a quick break here to talk a little bit about Prize Picks, currently the #1 sports pick app in America. The app is very easy to use. Check it out to my left here. You can do player picks, where you just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Or you can pick teams, where you pick winners, spread, or total on any game or fight. The app is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Right now, they have a great offer. You can play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in lineups if you win. All you have to do is use code HMA when you sign up. It's a brand new offer. Best time possible to get on the app. So get on over there and get to winning that first lineup. So remember, Prize Picks, code HMA. Download the app today, and remember to always gamble responsibly. The article lays this out quite well. If the um if the extension is signed after Monday, the $4 million cap charge becomes locked in and would not be impacted by the extension. However, if the extension is arrived at before Monday, so today or tomorrow, the roster bonus can be wrapped into the signing bonus, which means the 2026 cap hit and the 2026 cash payout goes down a little bit and gets pushed out into future seasons. Not a lot of money. I understand that he's about to sign a deal that is likely going to be 9 figures. I don't know how it's not 9 figures. And less than $4 million doesn't seem like a big deal. But generally speaking, if teams have the option to push out money, they're going to take it. Now, the article does a good job going through the exact math of what the extension now versus the extension later could look like. Like, for instance, if they do an extension over the weekend, if it's 3 million over, no, I'm sorry, 3 years, 100 million, then the cap hit would be about 11.2 million, and the cash would be 26.1 million, right? Because the roster bonus gets rolled into the signing bonus. However, if the extension is reached on Monday or later, then that roster bonus is part of the package, meaning the cash owed to Witherspoon goes up to 30.1 and the cap hit goes up to 15.1. So it's an extra $4 million in cash and it's an extra $4 million in cap hit. Again, doesn't sound like that big of a deal because it's not like the money comes out of nowhere. The money is going to get paid out either now or later. And I will say this, it's not like the Seahawks need the money for this season. I understand that. Like, once they extend Witherspoon, they might extend Leonard Williams, but the thing is, the Leonard Williams extension will probably save cap space. And other than a potential Jadeveon Clowney signing or a Hassan Reddick signing, who are not going to be that expensive, it's not like they have a lot of other business they need to deal with before the season starts. So there is an argument to be made that they don't need the money, but remember, cap space rolls over. So if you save cap space this year and push a bigger cap hit out to future years, and again, we're talking about a relatively small percentage of some pretty big contracts. But if you do that, the cap space you create for 2026 rolls over and swallows up the bigger cap hits. So either way, you can kind of come out on top here. And like I said, teams prefer to push financial obligations out into the future when the option is there. And there are a couple different reasons why that is. Inflation, I think, is a big one. Money loses value over time. So if you can pay less now and a little bit more later, the impact of the more later is reduced because of inflation. And also, in the case of the NFL, the salary cap is going up. So spending money later tends to be better than spending it now. So it's an incentive. So therefore, I think that there's a pretty good chance we hear about the extension today or tomorrow. By the time you watch this video, it may have already happened. By the time I publish this video, it may have already happened. I don't know, right? I mean, I'm trying to get this out Saturday morning, but for all we know, Witherspoon and Schneider are going to be going hard at it for really early, and maybe it'll get done by the time this thing actually goes public. But regardless, there's reason to believe that a Witherspoon contract extension will be done today or tomorrow, and there is incentive here. And remember, like I said, this really should not affect Witherspoon materially. He doesn't really care about the cash. He doesn't really care about the cap hit. It's all the same to him. This is just a matter of cap and cash flow for the team. So the team is the side that actually has some kind of an investment here. And in all likelihood, they would prefer to get this done now. All right. Let me know what you guys think. I know that was a little bit complicated. I know that was some like advanced salary cap stuff, but overall, it's pretty understandable. You can push the 4 million out into future seasons, or you can just take on that 4 million now. And it might sound like all the same, but to an NFL team and to a business in general, you generally would rather push it out because, you know, the money keeps losing value. That's just the way it is. All right, I'm going to get out of here. At least one more video later today, probably more. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Go Hawks, and let me know what you think. And could be later today, could be tomorrow, and if not, then at that point, we enter a phase where it could take a little bit longer because after Monday, there's really not much of a ticking clock at all. All right, go Hawks.